For those of you who are guests and who don't know me, I'm Dr. Max Price. I'm the Vice-Chancellor of the University, and it's a great pleasure to host you all to this event. We have one graduation lunch during the graduation ceremonies for particularly recipients of honorary degrees, for our doctoral students, and for the recipients of some of the prizes that we award at graduation, and I'll mention them to you. We are in the middle of the 14 graduation ceremonies. We have 4 to go still, so we've got 10 behind us. And in this period, we will be capping 5,200 students, and started on last Tuesday and will end Tuesday coming. Included in those 5,200 students are 67 PhD degrees and 2 honorary doctorates, which one is being conferred and one will be conferred today. While most of the graduands, and especially the young ones, are looking forward to their next stage, it's also appropriate to look back and to see what's been achieved. As the poet and educator Taylor Mully once put it, graduations need not only be obsessed with looking ahead. A graduation can be a day on which we turn back, trace our steps, and work out how we ended where we are. And those of you who are getting PhDs will know what a huge achievement and amount of work and sacrifice that has been. But I want to focus first on our honorary doctorates. We're delighted to confer honorary degrees to 2 distinguished individuals who have made significant contributions in their fields and an impact on the country. Their full citations would of course be read out at the graduation ceremonies, which some of you will attend, and so I'm not going to read those out now. Just to make a cursory reference to what they have done and who they are and what they have done. They are Professor Brian O'Connell, who was conferred an honorary doctorate in education on Wednesday morning, where he also delivered the graduation address, while Justice Yvonne Mokgoro will be conferred her honorary degree in law, honorary doctorate in law this evening, and she will also be delivering the speech during the occasion. Professor O'Connell is the former Vice-Chancellor of the University of the Western Cape and had spent his life before that in education, both in schools and in the Department of Education. He was instrumental in building the University of the Western Cape into a leading institution during his tenure, with strong research centres, a particular focus on the humanities, a significantly raised international profile, and a great reputation. And it also grew significantly during his period on his watch as Vice-Chancellor. His contribution was not only confined to the university and to academia. Perhaps his national impact was most significant in combating ignorance around HIV and AIDS. And he was a beacon of light during a period when AIDS denialism was still all around us, and where that was a battle for ideas. His engaged leadership, intellectualism, and passion for education and development has been recognized by a number of institutions globally. Justice Yvonne Mokgoro is a distinguished legal scholar and a former Constitutional Court judge. As I said, she will also be delivering her graduation address this evening. She is regarded as a distinguished member of an illustrious bench, the Constitutional Court, and in demand all over the world to speak and share the experiences, not only of individual cases, but of how the court has developed in its first phase, its first 20 years, and her role in that. She has shown excellent jurisprudence, a deep understanding of vernacular law and its relationship to the Constitution, and she has participated in writing pioneering legal opinions on rights embodied in the South African Constitution. We're very honoured that both these distinguished people are accepting honorary degrees from us. And I'm going to conclude with a toast in a moment, so just hold your applause for a moment. The other people we are honouring in this series of graduations are the team known as the Schools Improvement Initiative, and they are the recipients of what we call the Social Responsiveness Award. The Social Responsiveness Award, we make 3 major awards during the year. We make a Research Award, we make the Distinguished Teachers Award, and we make the Social Responsiveness Award. And these reflect the three core activities of the university: teaching, research, and engaged scholarship. The School's Improvement Initiative, comprising Dr. John Clark, Dr. Patty Silbert, and Mrs. Ferial Parker, have been awarded the 2018 award for the contribution that this initiative has made to improving our township schools and to helping them prepare more students to be able to come to university. Part of this has been a program called the 100 Up program, which has resulted in an increase in students from Khayelitsha and Mitchell's Plain coming to UCT from something like 25 students a year that used to come out of nearly 3,000 matriculants. Only 25 had the marks and the results to come into university and into UCT. No, 25 coming into UCT. There were some more going into university. To a situation now, which is about 6 years later since the program started, where we're getting about 170 to 200 students each year coming into universities, half of them into the University of Cape Town, the other half into other universities. So this has been an enormously successful program, which has part of the focus on individual students, top students in the last 3 years of school, and part of it focuses on what they call a whole school intervention, including governing bodies and principals and teacher effectiveness. So we're very proud that with what they've done, it links into our School of Education, but it's also a cross-disciplinary initiative that draws on the physiotherapists and occupational therapists from health sciences, the psychologists and developmental early childhood development people in the business school who train management trainees, to offer management training to the principals. And so they are the recipients of the Social Responsiveness Award. Another award we have made has been to the President of Convocation Medal, and unfortunately the recipient, Dr. Sophia Kirsten-Kenkras, has just called in to say she's not feeling well. She received the medal on Thursday, and this is the President of Convocation Medal is awarded annually to recognize an alumnus who has made an outstanding contribution to the common good. And then, of course, we're especially proud of our 67 PhD graduates, 32 of whom are attending the event today. Several of the others have, because they've actually finished their degrees in the last 6 months, so they may not be living in Cape Town, and they came especially for their graduation during the week but haven't stayed on to the Saturday. We congratulate you for reaching this important milestone in your academic careers. When I read the names later, after we've eaten and asked them to stand up so that you can see who they are and we can acknowledge them, you will see that they come from all around the world, and about a third of them come from other African countries, which is a particular something we're particularly proud of, because UCT sees part of its mission as preparing the next generation of academics for the continent, and also of creating networks of academic collaboration across the continent in order to make us a truly African university, and to ensure that at UCT we have expertise that speaks to the whole continent, not just to Africa. Through that expertise, we position ourselves as a global player and as a partner of choice for universities around the world. Pursuing a doctoral program is not easy. It requires dedication, a massive investment of time and energy, sacrifice, delaying one's earnings, starting to earn, sometimes delaying starting a family. However, this year's crop of PhDs as they would have found out, the best part of this sacrifice is the return on the investment, which is the impact not only on your own lives and professions, but also on those who will benefit from your research. And these beneficiaries number in the millions. I want to give you just a glimpse of some of the doctoral research projects completed this year. They examine, amongst other things, the spatial dimensions of economic activity in South Africa and the role of regional policy, crime, and the business environment in economic activity, how access to financial services impacts on inclusion and exclusion in the economy in sub-Saharan Africa, an impact of climate change and irrigation development on hydropower in the Zambezi River Basin, and the implications for the power sector in the whole Southern African power pool, Capitalism and the Nature and Nature in South Africa, and this focuses on racial dispossession, liberation ideology, and ecological crises. The influence of HIV exposure, feeding on the influence of HIV exposure and feeding on the gut microbiota and the adaptive immunity of South African infants. Energy transitions, the case of South African electric security. Archaeology, looking at the assets and objects of Great Zimbabwe's past. Designing community health worker programs with multimedia learning tools. Mechanisms and models for measuring climate change globally. Improved methods for measuring childhood mortality, and many, many others. The engineering ones I haven't listed because I can't understand the titles. They're too complicated and the chemistry is too complicated. So, once again, we're going to congratulate all our PhD graduates who have done so well in their respective fields. But not only our graduates, and we've invited you here with your families and your supervisors. The supervisors play a key role in getting you to the point that you have got, and your families have stood by you financially, emotionally, made sacrifices while you have studied, and we are very glad to have them here as well to be able to recognize their contribution to your success and to celebrate with them. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to now toast our honorary graduates. I ask you to stand, not our honorary graduates, but our honorary graduates. I'd like to have Justice Mokgoro and Professor O'Connell come to the stage, if you would. I need my own glass. If you would come and stand on the stage with me. So to our honorary graduates, first of all, congratulations to the honorary graduates. Cheers.
Thanks, Brian. Congratulations. Cheers.
And secondly, a toast to our prize winners, the Social Responsiveness Prize and the award and the Convocation President Medal. To our prize winners. You're going to get through the whole glass by the time we finish. And thirdly, a toast to all of our doctoral graduates, their supervisors and families. Congratulations and well done. You're going to make a speech, but if you want to say something, you want to say anything? Okay.
10 minutes?
10 minutes? No, you can't speak 10
I'm going
minutes.
to make.
I mean, you want to say anything? No. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, before you sit down, the lunch is served. It's a buffet. There are 2 tables, one on each side. So please help yourselves. And in about 40 minutes' time, I hope you will be finished eating, and then we will go through and invite the doctoral students just to present themselves to us. I need to say that we're rushing you a little because we have a graduation that starts at 2 o'clock, and those of us who are participating need to be there at 1:45, so that's in an hour and a quarter. But please help yourselves to lunch. I hope you have all eaten well, drunk some wine, and it's now an opportunity to honor our doctoral students. But I want to also pay some tribute to some of our distinguished guests who are here with us, ranging from the Premier. Thank you for joining us, Premier Zille. There are a lot of them. I think a member of our council, Advocate Arenser, thank you for joining us. The President of Convocation, Lorna Houston, thank you for joining us. Present, the chair of our Alumni Advisory Board, Diana Yach, is with us. One of the members, one of the trustees of the foundation, Irene Menel, thank you for being with us. University Foundation. We have, I think I've seen two deputy vice-chancellors. I want to introduce, for those of you who haven't previously met, Mokgoro Pakeng, Professor Pakeng. Won't you stand up, please, because she is the person who will take my place in 3 months' time. She's also the designate vice-chancellor. And Professor Loretta Ferris, I saw her, she had to leave. So she was with us, and I don't think the third is Professor LaRue here? No. And then we have some deans with us. I'm not going to name them all, but I appreciate the presence of the deans, the heads of departments, and the supervisors. And I hope I haven't missed anyone really important. You're all important, but the VIPs need to be singled out. So I'm now going to call the names of the PhD students, and if I could just ask you to stand up. We will give you a short applause. I'll say the department that you're from and your name. And we're going to start from the Faculty of Law. The doctorates will be tonight mostly. So they are not yet called doctor, they're called Ms. or Mr. Teresa Franz. Teresa, yeah? Congratulations, Teresa. From the Department of Marine and Environmental Law. From Electronic Commerce, Regina Kuliheli. Regina? I just want to check, is Leanne Sting come here? I don't think so, because she didn't pick up a name tag. Right. Then from the Faculty of Humanities, from Media Studies, Bernadine Jones. From Film Studies, Norita Ndeche. From Neuropsychology, Catherine Lewis. From Gender Studies, Isaac Derry. From Psychology, Monique Heusemann. And I just want to check if Suzanne Holland-Mutter is here. Susan? Not yet. She is from Sociology. From the Faculty of Science, from the Department of in the field of Information Security and ICT for Development, Aderonica Sakpere. From Medicinal Chemistry, Nina Wasuna. From Cosmology, Maya Elmardi. From Supramolecular Chemistry, Savannah Zacharias. And again, let me just check if Pauline Chiripanura has come. No. Maletsabisa Malapo. Is Maletsabisa here? No. And Obadias Jacinta? No. In the Faculty of Health Sciences, in the field of nursing, Safina Musine. In the field of HIV and gut microbiota, Jerome Milimu. In the field of human genetics, Lindiwe Lamola. Just to check if Horatia Naidu is here? No. In the field of commerce, on impact evaluation, Dr. Adeola Oyenubi. Congratulations. Are there any other doctoral candidates from the Faculty of Commerce present? Sorry, who? Tell me. Sorry? Naomi. Naomi's field is financial structure, economic growth and firm productivity in sub-Saharan Africa. Naomi Matengo. Thanks, Naomi. And finally, from the Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment, in the field of telecommunication, Dr. Mary Adedoyen. In the field of wireless communications, Dr. Elizabeth Okumu. In the field of making production processes cleaner, Dr. Risa Niobuhungire. And in the field of chemical engineering, Dr. Mehdi Safari. And as I said before, many of the supervisors are here. We owe a huge debt of gratitude to the supervisors as well. Thank you all. And that's the end of our formal proceedings. Please stick around, have some more to eat and drink. Some of us will need to leave in about 15 minutes to get to the graduation. Thank you all very much for joining us.